Hello, my friends, dear Californians. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Talking about our timing. When I say timing, I'm talking about the year being 2014. June, there comes the primary. And then we're talking about the midterm in November. And pretty soon we're talking about 2016, right? Those on the federal level. At the local level, some kind of a similar. However, we pay more attention to local level rather than federal because we're either they're too far or our arms are too short. Probably both. Probably both, right? Am I right?
Probably both.
Probably both, yeah. So we are more concerned about our local election because everybody we pick, we want to pick the right person for the right job, like I said last few times. And number two, the picking yourself is heavily, tremendously related to the result, right? And the result being your own pocket.
There you go.
Yeah, your own house, right?
Absolutely.
Your own family, your own everything.
Right.
Right, so
right.
That's why we pay attention to the election, at least one thing for one district, that is the 55th district of California. For that assembly seat, the front runner, Mr. Craig Young, mayor of Yorba Linda, a beautiful city, is running. And I see lots of hopes. I see you're one of the most hopefuls, or maybe you are the most hopefuls of all the runners. So,
thank you, Jack.
So once again, welcome to my show to share the excitement so far.
It's a pleasure to be here again. You're a wonderful host.
Sure. But sometimes I'm less wonderful because my questions sometimes are tough.
Well, that's your job. That's what I think makes you wonderful is you ask the tough questions.
Like I said last time when you were here, I tried to squeeze.
Right. Right.
To get the juice out, right?
That's right.
To make sure we're not that kind of mean. We're talking about to be serious.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is serious business.
Yes, to be as more serious as possible.
Right.
Because it's the moment you're choosing your own people.
That's right.
Right now.
That's right.
For the last few times, we shared with my audiences about this front runners ideology as the first concept, right? And then we talk about public transportation.
Right.
Right. And we talk about public safety.
Yes.
And we talk about education.
Right.
Right.
Very important topics.
Yeah, those very important topics we touched. And at the end of the show, each of the show, I said I give him a pass. And the last time I even promised him he gets my vote. I may have to do more because I received emails on this subject every time, and they raise questions.
Good.
They raise questions.
Good.
Take it easy. It's not especially on you. In general, they say, "Can we do this? Can we do that?"
Right.
So, like this email, it says so precisely. Said, I am interested in hearing about how this person, this individual, is going to manage our money.
Very good.
Money, 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 money. Money is everything, right?
Absolutely. It makes the world go round, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Can't buy you love, though.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Sometimes it can, right? But not that kind of love.
That's right. There you go.
And be sure all the questions asked are based upon the fact that we assume once you took office already. So don't fake up any answer in the position as a mayor. Because mayor runs a big city, that's good already, but you were running big cities, right? All 55th district. And then in time of your vote, though, you're voting for California, the whole money, right? So and those questions will cover. Right? Kind of.
And yet, Jack, if I may, I think the same principles apply at the state level and the federal level as they do at the city level and our personal homes.
Exactly.
The way we run our finances at home should tell us how we run our state.
All right. Okay. Very good. And that's a very principle, very good principle we can hold on, because a person who cannot manage his own finance, I really doubt this person can manage somebody else's money, right?
Absolutely.
And especially when you're in charge of the money for the state, though, we're talking about the money of the state, though. Okay, there is a very old proverb in Chinese. If you want to marry somebody's daughter, better check the mother first. Meaning that you check the mother, how the mother managed her family, meaning money.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
If you, the mother, cannot manage money properly, the daughter must learn some bad habit.
Right.
That's a start. So you now be the mother, be the daughter yourself. So we're trying to see who can marry.
There you go.
That kind, right?
That's
so
right.
Give me your concept, your general concept of money.
My general concept of money is to be as debt-free as absolutely possible.
Debt-free.
And remember, my background is in real estate. I own a real estate company. We manage other people's money as well as our own money. And for many, the common thinking, the best way to grow a very large, successful real estate project or portfolio is to borrow, borrow, borrow. But that's not my strategy. My strategy is to have as little debt as absolutely possible and to pay that debt off as quickly as possible, because the problem is that the economy goes in cycles, right? Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. And if you have too much debt, when it's in the down mode, you can end up losing things.
That's exactly, sounds to me that you're hitting the nail on the head. Because we've been talking about, not only with you, with all my friends on the show, talking about American style, right? American style means that we live on borrowing basis. We borrow ourselves, our future. We borrow from our sons and daughters, and we even borrow from our grandsons and granddaughters.
Right.
Take the bonds, for example.
Sure.
Right? Like 20, 30-year bonds. And then you are borrowing from your future.
Absolutely.
And when future comes, do you have the ability to pay back? The California status right now can answer it already, right away, right?
That's right.
So to be debt free is your master principle.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely. And it's not saying that debt is evil. It is sometimes helpful to get us where we need to go.
Oh yeah, of course.
But when we look at...
That's where a bank kicks in.
That's right. But when we look at everything as 20 and 30-year and 40-year bonds, we are opening ourselves up for a tremendous amount of grief. Let me tell you a little bit of work that I did at a county level. I was helping with our unfunded liabilities, the conversation that we have, which is a terrible problem in the state of California, right?
That's a big one, yeah.
Well, as we were looking at the pension group in Orange County that's responsible for managing that large amount of money, there was part of the board, and I was not on the board, but a voice to the board. There was part of the board that said, let us take that debt and make it longer. Instead of it being 30 years, let's have the debt extend to 40 years. And their answers is, look, we saved money. And the problem is the answer is no. And I did my best to communicate. Of course, I had half the board, and half the board won out.
Yeah, you have to convince the rest of the folks.
That just because you spread out the payments longer, it'll make your it'll save cash flow because your payments will go lower, but you actually pay interest for a longer period of time, which means it costs you money. It's more expensive.
And it looks to me, in this case, you're not even borrowing from your granddaughter and grandson. You're dotting the great-grandson.
Great-grandson here, right.
Great-granddaughters,
yes,
right? Yeah. So that's a terrible thing to do.
Right.
Same thing, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I know buying a car is a little thing, right? Running a state is the other. But are they sharing the same principle?
Absolutely.
If you buy with a 5-year contract, 3-year contract, 6-year contract, right? So there is a big difference.
Sure there is.
right?
So
You don't.
you look at the total amount that you'll pay if you borrow to buy a car versus if you're able to pay cash.
Sure.
And so now you're able to buy a fancier car perhaps because you financed it, right? But at the end, it costs you a whole lot more money.
Of course, yeah.
And that's part of the problem we have when we look at the state. Too many of our legislators are looking in the short term. Gee, we want the nicest we can have in the short term, and they're forgetting about the cost to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And that's sad.
Yeah, exactly.
We need some grown-ups in Sacramento to say,
now,
no, we need to be careful.
It seems to be has to be some kind of a silver lining. For example, let's still take the car purchasing, for example, right? Now, you have to squeeze yourself to make sure that you pay as much as you can within as short as possible. Right. Now, the shorter the contract, the more the payment. Right. In between, you find your own silver cut. The silver lining that exactly weighs the whole situation.
Sure.
You don't want just to, pay a little bit for 100 years. So that's the problem. That's the problem, right?
That's the problem. Now the way that I run my family household, and I like the way that you phrased it. Let's look at the mother before you marry the daughter.
Let's just check the mother first, and the father too.
And the father too, right?
And the pastor too.
That's right.
You're a pastor yourself.
Thank you.
Sure.
But the way I manage my household is I want to have as absolute little debt as possible, because that way I know the money that I have is completely free to use. The governor's budget, we talked about this last time.
Last time we did.
Focus for today. The governor has proposed a budget which our budget revenue is stronger than it's been in the last 10 years. It's a very good budget. That's
a positive sign. That's a positive sign.
But I want to be careful. Is it saying that we have a great promise for the future, or is it just showing how bad it's really been?
I doubt. Yeah. The other story is that we did have bought ourselves a big heavy load of burden.
Yes.
When the time was good.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
So versus that though, your present or current positive sign is just a token, not a big deal. Am I right?
Yeah, it's good compared to how bad it's been, but it's not really good.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, of course.
It's just better than it's been.
Of course. Sure. Back to my audience, today is one of the moments that we can really sit down, take time to get serious, and of course, in a relaxed way, much relaxed way, because nobody's catching up a train, catching up a plane. Anyway, we're talking about our local election. In terms of local election, we always want to make a decision that we pick up the right man for the right job. And now I'm talking to the person who seems to be the right man for the right job. I call him the most hopeful, Mr. Greg Young, Mayor Young of city of Yorba Linda. He's running the position of the assemblyman of the 55th District of California. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out how he actually touched the money or allocate the money, right? Good. Okay, now.